So YouTube is rolling out some new p- policies, guidelines that were updated earlier this year, 2023, that had to be accepted in order for content creators to maintain eligibility to earn ad revenue and be included in the YouTube Partner Program. But there are even more changes in the works. And this little story here about a Zelda video game, and hopefully, I hope my video doesn't get demonetized from this, but if it does, I think it will be a really cool case study nonetheless. But we should be weary. We should be aware of the warning signs, not just for uh, creators, but for the viewers as well, because as these new rules and changes impact the creators and their income and their revenue, for which you guys are fully aware, I brought you guys some recent updates here in the last 2 days or 3 days about some monetization issues that I was experiencing on my channels. But this could potentially drive creators off of the platform and go missing. Besides the already growing problem of subscribers being unsubscribed from creators' channels without their consent and other glitches associated with alerts and notifications and just an overall, in my opinion, change of the algorithm, possible reduction of reach, but seemingly boost to new channels and new creators. So this may be a great time to get started with a new channel on YouTube, uh, if you are going about it in the right way and how the algorithm and or YouTube wants you to on the topics that they want you to cover, and maybe you'll get insane multiples on reach and views and revenue. However, Zelda Breath of the Wild multiplayer mod leads to videos demonetized by Nintendo. Now, this is going to be very important for any and everyone watching because I'm going to share with you my point of view as far as what this will mean for all creators, not just those in the gaming niche and the gaming category, gamers, Twitch streamers. This is going to go across the board. And just let me get through this and then I'll explain that to you in just a moment. So it says here that last year, YouTuber and Twitch streamer Point Crow declared that he would pay $10,000 to anyone who managed to create a working multiplayer mod for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Well, two creators who go by Stans and Architect managed to do just that, and Point Crow made good on his promised reward. Just recently, the mod went public for the first time via Discord, and Point Crow has been sharing videos showing it off on his channel. Now, as you might have guessed already, Nintendo wasn't exactly thrilled about this. And I can only imagine why. I'm not a gamer. I don't know anything about Zelda and these mods, but I can imagine why Nintendo is not happy. All the while, according to Point Crow, Nintendo has demonetized several of his videos featuring the Breath of the Wild multiplayer mod, as well as some of those that don't feature it at all. Interesting. Now, this means that while those videos are still available to watch, he is unable to make any money off of their views. They were initially blocked altogether, but a YouTube appeal led to this new outcome. Nintendo is famously aggressive when it comes to quashing fan made mods, ROMs, and other unofficial projects that use their copyrighted material, and it remains to be seen if they'll change their minds about these particular videos. But as of now, it appears as though they'll be demonetized permanently. So, as you can see here on the screenshot, it looks like the videos that were associated have these red caution signs and red dollar signs with lines through them, basically stating that there's a copyright claim with the red circle with the line through it, and there is no ad revenue that will be earned for these videos. That's what the red dollar sign means. And at 1.5 million views, a million views, 1.8 million, 2.2 million views, I would imagine that that would be some considerable revenue earned if allowed, but that will not be the case. And I believe that Nintendo will instead receive that revenue. So Nintendo will receive that revenue off the work that has been done by Point Crow. And when it says that they have demonetized videos that don't even include the mod, I would be willing to bet that they've demonetized other videos that include their copyrighted material being their content, being their game, Zelda, or perhaps any other Nintendo game for that matter. I'm surprised he hasn't or will not receive a cease and desist or even possibly a lawsuit from Nintendo. I've heard of crazier cases for far less offenses personally, and it's unbelievable. But the simple fact of the matter is this is the direction that we are going. This is the direction that we are heading. And you guys are fully aware, I'm sure you are, as you've come across different websites that primarily now we're seeing it with news websites where we're trying to get the info, we're trying to get the information, we're trying to get the updates, but you have to subscribe in order to have access to the copy. And this is just how the economy, how businesses are shifting and changing to drive these revenues and make this money, and also not have their work basically um, repurposed or used without their consent, without getting their piece of the pie. There was a brief period in time where channels were getting dinged, they were getting strikes, they were getting copyright claims, they were getting demonetized for compilation videos. And then YouTube rolled out the new rules and guidelines that require the creators to add some changes and narrative to make the work unique if they were going to repurpose and reuse others' content. Well, I can already see where this is heading, and I want to go ahead and share the warning that I have for any and all creators that potentially use others' content to make their videos. And that is, we are going to see more of these red circles and red dollar signs with lines and slashes through them. And more than likely, these are going to come from the news channels, as they are already showing their hand with their websites and demanding subscriptions be paid by Wall Street Journal or New York Times or Forbes or a variety of others, just to name a few. And I think they're going to move to YouTube next and start throwing their weight around and implementing these copyright claims, demonetizing creators. And what that does is, not only does it shut off the revenue that the creator will receive from the video, but it could potentially also put the creator in a position where they will owe any and all revenue received as a result of that shared content. For instance, a friend of mine received a cease and desist from a major comic book movie house, basically. I'm not going to say which one. And they claim that there was a trademark infringement because of the visual use and representation of one of their characters in their video. And I'll tell you guys, the character was, yes, seen in the video as no more decorative than this lamp behind me. And that was what sparked the claim. They then proceeded to filter through and analyze other videos on this creator's channel, and even requested and demanded financial compensation for all revenues received because of another visual which was a handmade drawing by a viewer, subscriber, and fan that closely resembled a trademark of this brand. And it can go far deeper than that, as they could even go on to demand any additional royalties from paid subscriptions, paid memberships, paid promotions and sponsorships. They are out for blood, folks. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. And it's not just going to be in higher prices and inflation and job layoffs. We're going to see a unique approach and strategy and attack against any and all forms out there where companies can try to increase their revenue earning potential any way possible. Again, if I get demonetized for making this video because I'm showing this screenshot here, that will just prove to me just how serious these folks are and how potentially uh, this could threaten the future livelihoods and creation of content by creators that utilize screenshots, news clips, B-roll. Uh, we could potentially see a point where literally every video is going to have to be handmade, no branding allowed whatsoever, unless you want to risk being flagged, copyright claim, hit with a copyright claim, and potentially demonetized before even seeing further legal action taken. Maybe I'm blowing this out of proportion. Maybe I'm all wrong. But at the end of the day, I think in this particular situation, Nintendo might have been triggered, might have been sparked by this mod to their game. I get it. I understand that. But at the end of the day, we have to realize that the legal ramifications do exist. And with the right team behind it, they could literally try to do anything that they wanted to do. And then it would be up to those that are being held responsible and accountable for these strikes to decide if they want to pony up and pay what is owed, maybe even multiples of what was received, or spend more time, money, effort, energy, and resources to fight it with no guarantee of success.